When we think about this whole area of our work with Homeland Security and this particular targeted violence project, it fits perfectly with the value proposition that the Global Peace Foundation brings forth wherever it does its work worldwide.
At the Global Peace Foundation, we've been active in this issue area since 2016 when we had our first project in New Jersey. Since then, we have trained thousands of individuals, different community members across multiple states, and we've even reached 1.5 million people through our social media campaigning. I feel honored that I get to take action every day to prevent violence and loss of life. The work that we do is meaningful and it matters. And I encourage other community members to take part in our trainings and our community engagement events. We can all save lives and really make a difference. We engage a lot of different communities. We engage people from many different backgrounds, ethnicities, religions, civil society groups, groups of educators, even law enforcement and government leaders. The reason that engaging a broad base of community members is important is because it takes a whole community to act on community safety. The reason that Global Peace Foundation invests in this area is to build community resilience. We believe that prevention is important, and in fact, it's one of the best ways to intervene before we have a mass casualty event. And by taking part in our trainings, each community member is helping to do their part in building a resilient and strong community and strengthening the fabric that binds us all together.
Many communities across the country have been impacted by violence and loss. Mass shootings in the United States are now averaging almost 2 shootings a day. Since 2020, gun violence has become the leading cause of death for children and teens. At the same time, faith communities and organizations like the Global Peace Foundation are actively strengthening community resilience and building belonging as antidotes to violence. Collaborate with Global Peace to share important information with your community and help us prevent more loss.
I have delivered training to many communities in Maryland from different backgrounds as part of my first job in the United States. And what is very consistent among all the different communities with all different cultural backgrounds is that we all want a life free of violence, mass shootings, and casualties in our schools, campuses, places of worship, and other public spheres. It's worthwhile to mention that the training curriculum the Global Peace Foundation has designed and is utilizing in all these training sessions is based on the most updated data, which has been processed through a systematic research. And yes, it's neutral in all its forms. I'm committed to preventing violence in our communities by sharing the right information with our communities through this training program.
Faith communities and faith leaders from diverse backgrounds nurture connections amongst community members through their ongoing activities, services, worship, and community programming. Building belonging and reducing isolation in our society are important factors in resilience, which faith communities do every day. Sharing awareness-raising information and knowledge on this topic helps to prevent mass violence and protect communities of faith, workplaces, schools, and public spaces.
The data that we collected using the pre- and post-surveys of training participants included a number of key metrics, such as the number of trainees, the level of knowledge gain, satisfaction with the training delivery and content, and also the participants' willingness to recommend the training to their peers and constituents.
consider collaborating with Global Peace Foundation to host a community belonging event for your church, temple, mosque, or other group. This is an ideal weeknight program offering for your already existing schedule of activities or a weekend event. If in person, this could be 2 hours of programming plus meal time. Optional additional speakers can be added as desired.
Well, I've learned a lot about being a trainer in this program when it comes to the resources that are available to community and community members. When it comes to the terminology, I think there are some definitions of things that I thought I knew and then got in and like, oh, okay, this is a little deeper dive. When it comes to some of the technologies that are accessed by young people and the vulnerabilities on those technologies, specifically gaming and video gaming, think as an engineer, I thought it was pretty harmless, but times have changed since the 90s when gaming was just gaming with essentially the person sitting next to you. Now young people have the potential to be exposed to individuals across the globe who may mean them harm. So I think I've learned quite a bit when it comes to the training for myself that I can take with me to the other groups that, specifically the young people I work with, and share with them.
Why should people care about this topic? Why is it important? The first thing to consider here is our shared humanity. And also, we need to tie this to our approach to peace building, which is values-based approach that emphasizes the universal principles and shared values as basis to address conflicts, promote sustainable development, and of course engage the whole human family as valuable contributors to the culture of peace. Peace is important. Every community, every individual, indirectly, unconsciously desires peace. And so this is why it is important for communities to come together to build peace, because when we live in a peaceful community, everybody is safe. When we live in a peaceful community, we take care of one another, because generally, again, irrespective of us, we have some common aspirations. So that's why this project is very important.
So we have to, like you said, nip it at the bud. Whatever is going on, we cannot be oblivious of whatever is going on that is affecting us one way or the other. We know as Muslims, we have our weekly Friday communal sermons and lectures, and we actually engage the people. And this is what we talk about. It's kind of a kitchen table talk. So we tell families, and that has the violence prevention has to start from the home. Like we had a lot about yesterday. We have to deal with it from the home, and then it gradually comes to our neighborhood, and then the community at large. So yes, faith-based organization obviously has a lot to do, has the role to play, and we will continue to play that role for the betterment of our society at large.
Just recently, my place of worship, we just had a bomb threat. And the bomb threat came during the most precious time for us, which is our worship service. It's the most important day at the most important time. Right in the middle of that service, we received a bomb threat. And of course, being able to respond to something like that in a way that prevents, reduces, obviously chaos could happen, trampling could happen, being able to be trained for that, and we are very grateful that we were prepared, to get the community out of the facility in the event there was a bomb. We are very grateful there was no bomb. But it was driven by hate. It was driven by hate, and the good news is that the law enforcement automatically listed it as a hate crime. Educated communities, and making them aware of the warning signs is very, very important. So we can't get caught off guard. Because if you get caught off guard, then of course that kind of multiplies the harm that's done. But the more we know, the more we can reduce it and eliminate the harm that the ones who perpetrate violence, hate, etc., want to see. We can begin to reduce that.
I do think that it's very important for other faith-based organizations to see this presentation because, again, it is the time in which we are living. And one of the major things was see something, say something, and do something about it. You can't do that if you don't have the knowledge base. So that's why I think it's very powerful, this type of presentation that Global Peace Foundation has presented today.
Global Peace Foundation provides incentives and host payments to faith and community organizations hosting trainings for their members. Meals, supplies, resources, and giveaway items, and a trainer or presenter and on-site support as needed. We also offer webinars. Learn more about hosting a program or activity in your community organization, faith, community, workplace, or professional organization. You can also contact us to learn more about supporting our efforts in local communities in the United States as well as around the world at www.globalpeace.org or by contacting us at info@globalpeace.org.